Well, hello everyone. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. If you're in a place where Thanksgiving is celebrated, this is the Sunday after Thanksgiving. And I had been thinking about doing this video for a little bit and sort of trying to formulate in my mind exactly how to do it. I'm just gonna do what I typically do, is kind of fly by the seat of my pants sort of thing. And I'm going to go into this with a little bit of a sort of a caveat that I'm not feeling the most chipper right now. I mean, it's just kind of, it's that time of year. I'm not crazy about this time of year. The time change puts me in a funk because it gets dark so early and it's gray so much and it's so stinking cold. I don't like the cold. And also, my brother Matt was here for a few days and then he just left early yesterday morning. So I'm kind of a little bit down in the dumps. He's not here anymore. And my other brother is also far away. They both live on complete opposite ends of the country and we rarely see each other in person. And that gets me a little down. So every time they come and then I spend almost all my time with them and then they leave and then I just feel in a foul mood. I'm not very happy. And I wish they lived closer. Let's just say that. And I will never let them forget that that's how I feel. They will always know that I'm going to harass them about moving closer, moving back home. Anyway, my brothers are my best friends, and so it's hard that they're so far away. I really don't like that. And it just makes me kind of down in the dumps and I don't know, I'm just kind of feeling that way. I think also some of it is just a lot of uncertainty as far as, like stuff with Scooter a few days ago when he went in for his chemo. We had to change his protocol or his treatment plan. He was doing well. One of the tumors completely went away. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in another video. His liver and his spleen look about the same. They're not any worse, but they're not any better. And he keeps getting breakouts on his skin. They don't appear to be bothering him, but it just is evidence that there's still lymphoma on his skin. He has two types, so internal lymphoma, and also lymphoma on his skin, but the lymphoma is not in his lymph nodes. So I looked that up and I can't remember if I mentioned this on one of the videos, but I looked that up because it's really weird. His case is pretty rare. His vet down the road said that she'd never seen his type of lymphoma before. And I believe what it's called is extranodal lymphoma. It's extremely rare because most of the time lymphoma is in the lymph nodes. His is not. Don't know. Anyway, weird. But this newest type of chemo that they put him on, it seems to be griping his stomach a little more than the other that he was on. He's still eating, but he's getting more picky about the foods I try to sneak his pills in. It wouldn't necessarily be too much of an issue about him being that way because he's still eating chicken and he'll eat hot dogs and I mix it in with some of his ground up dry food. But the fact that I have to give him medications at home, it's making it it's like almost every pill time is stressful. Is he going to be easy to pull or what? Am I going to have to try to shove it down his throat? And that never ends well because he gets all upset and half the time it's not successful. And I don't have a pill gun and I'm afraid even if I did, I might do it wrong. Anyway, it's just this constant stress of worrying, like, is all of this going to have some sort of payoff at the end? Is he actually going to go into any kind of remission? Is he going to, are we going to have many more months, possibly years with him? Or is there any purpose to this? I mean, he's acting fine. He's not acting like he's got diarrhea, poor thing. But he's not acting like he's on death's door or anything. I mean, and he still hasn't had a seizure since his last sort of mini seizure, which was the very first day of his first chemo treatment. That was September 1st. September, October, or we're almost done with November. He's gone 3 months without a seizure so far. But of course, he's constantly on seizure meds. When another problem, when they switched the chemo on him, I'm sorry, I'm just unloading, but These are things that have just been bothering me for days. But when they switched the chemo on him and I brought him home from the oncologist, they had to sedate him because this particular type of treatment is one that takes 30 minutes and it has to be IV. And of course, he's not going to lay there willingly. So they had to sedate him. And he was just not his normal self for the entire next day. I mean, for the entire rest of the day when I brought him home. He couldn't walk very well. He got a little better at it as the evening wore on, but he didn't want to eat anything. And when I went there to pick him up, he was due for his next seizure medicine. And they hesitated to give it to him because they were afraid he might choke, because that's how doped up and out of it he was. I mean, he was as drunk as could be. And I would try to give it to him when I would get home, offer him food. No, he was just not having it. So he ended up going almost 4.5 hours past the time that he was due for his seizure medicine, which pushed him to 12 hours in between his meds, because his first medicine that he was supposed to have that day was 10 in the morning. Then I went to pick him up and it was close to 6 in the evening. Oh yeah, it was close to 6 in the evening. They had to keep him there longer because they switched up the treatment, and I wasn't able to get the seizure medicine in him until 10:30. That evening. And then I was going to try to pick up with his regular next dosage at 2 in the morning. And no, he didn't want anything at that point. So I, went to bed just scared that what if he has a seizure? Got up and gave him he then took his pill the next day, okay, but they've given me, I think it was called trazodone, to give to him the night before his next treatment and then the morning of his next treatment, so that when they give him his treatment, they won't have to sedate him like they did before, that the trazodone will just, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, that it will keep him settled down, calm enough for them to just do the treatment, and then he won't have to be put under the, because I'm telling you, that was just almost feels like it's not worth putting him through all that. He was not, I felt absolutely awful when I brought him home that day. He was so out of it. So I've just been worried about that. Then in a funky mood anyway because of the time of year. Then sad because my brother's not here anymore. He's gone. I don't know when the heck I'll see him again. I don't know when I'll see my other brother. I don't know if I'll be able to go to California where he lives anytime soon. I have no idea, because I don't know what travel restrictions are going to be happening, because everybody's all panicky right now about the next variant and people losing their minds still over this stuff. I'm just so over it all and just not in the best mood. I don't know why the hell I thought I could actually do this without unloading the way I did. Anyway, what the heck? Okay, I'm hoping that talking about what I'm going to talk about in this video will snap me out of it a little bit. And I honestly, I have to be aware of the time because, yeah, I got to leave. Well, I've got a little bit of time. Okay, so the purpose of this video it's about Terminator. Terminator 2 was what sort of sparked the idea in my head, because I think it was Thanksgiving. I was on Twitter, and Lionsgate, I saw, because I sub to them or follow them, and it's something about Terminator 2 came up, about this new Steelbook edition of Terminator 2. And I was like, oh, wow, I wonder, is there anything new on it? And I posted a comment, but I don't think they didn't answer back. I don't believe. I didn't get any notification. But so I went and I tracked it down. It was available, I think, exclusively at Best Buy. And I was looking through the special features, and they were like, all new 55-minute documentary. I can't remember the title of it, but I was like, oh, well, that alone might be worth the price of the Steelbook. And so I decided when I brought it home, we watched Terminator 2 that day, because I wanted to see, was it the restored edition, the one that had the digital fixes? And I wanted to watch the documentary to see like maybe to do a review of the documentary. And I actually did write some notes down, and now I don't know where the heck I put them. But I had notes specifically written down for this. And of course now I can't find it. Maybe I can remember what I had written down. Okay. So then I decided what I would do is to maybe just kind of show off my collection of Terminator DVDs and Blu-rays, 4K, whatever. And I wasn't quite sure how to approach this. So I decided I would just start with the Terminator, the first movie, and work my way up or down, however you look at it. And also within each grouping of the movie, I would show the first version that I bought, because for the Terminator and for Terminator 2, I have multiple versions of each. And so I guess and also what I was going to do is kind of do a review, sort of like a review of the Steelbook in comparison to the version that came out, the remastered version that was released in 2017 when they were doing like a 3D showings in the theater. And I wanted to talk about that in the documentary and stuff like that. So I will try to keep this brief, but you guys know me, I will most likely fail at that endeavor. But let's go ahead and start with the Terminator. So the very first version of the Terminator that I bought was just the regular old DVD. It's called Special Edition because it was a digital remaster. And I'm also going to try to, I'll put up a picture of the cover and also a picture of the back. It was a remastered version, and it also had some little like documentary things in there. It's not really extensive or anything, but I like that sort of stuff. It also had some deleted scenes, and I believe it was this DVD that made me aware of the fact that at the end of the first Terminator, when they're putting her in the ambulance and the ambulance drives away, they cut this part out of the theatrical version. I think it was a huge mistake that they did that, but I guess at the time James Cameron wasn't thinking far enough ahead. But the camera panned up to show you the name of the factory where they had the final fight with the endoskeleton, because by then he was an endoskeleton, and it was Cyberdyne, which is crazy. I love that sort of time loop. I mean, that blew my mind. I wish they had kept that in. There's also some other deleted scenes in here. And so this is let's see. Oh yeah, it's one of those ones where it has a version on each side. I'm not crazy about these types because I'm so scared I'm going to mess it up, because, you have to handle it and there's no cover on the front, the artwork on the front to sort of protect it. But it also comes with this little booklet and just talking about the generator of the Terminators, this different things that they talk about in here. It's kind of cool little, it's not a lot, but just enough for, fans of the series would probably like something like this, which of course I did. So it took me several years before I ended up caving and getting a Blu-ray version of the Terminator, because it was many years before we actually got a Blu-ray. Like many years after Blu-ray players were available that we actually got one, because they finally got within our price point, because I wasn't about to spend hundreds of dollars on a Blu-ray player. And I think the ones that we ended up getting, they were like ones that my husband got at the Goodwill or something. And so I finally didn't really ditch the DVD, but I ended up getting the Blu-ray of the Terminator. And I believe, I might be completely wrong, but I want to say this has pretty much the same, it has almost pretty much the same special features, like the missing scenes and stuff like that, creating the Terminator visual effects and music, Terminator a retrospective, and the 7 deleted scenes. I believe all of that is also on here. There was none, I was going to say there's none of the artwork, but I'm wrong. Inside the Blu-ray, they have like these production shots. This makes me, I swear, it makes me in the mood to watch this movie again. This movie never gets old, just like Terminator 2 never gets old. Never, never. this is how I knew it was my best, my favorite film of all time. So like, you know, behind the scenes production shots and stuff, and which kind of cool. I like that. And this also came with a digital code, but I think I might be wrong. I want to say I think by then my brother had already got a digital version of this on our Vudu account, because we have a Vudu account that we share, and we each will add movies to it. You know, like we do the disc to digital because we have a crap ton of, or I have a crap ton of discs. He did too. And so we just kind of built up our digital collection. I do like to have digital copies of movies that are my, you know, like movies, my favorites, but also others that I enjoy. I like the convenience of a digital copy, but sometimes you just never know when the internet goes down. It's nice to have a physical copy if you want to watch something. And also I've heard stories of purchased titles, digital titles, being just removed from someone's library. I guess like if the platform loses the rights or whatever. I've seen this mentioned multiple times, that the titles get removed, titles you paid for. And so that's when I found out, well, actually, when you buy them, you're not really buying them permanently. You're just kind of like long-term renting them, in other words, which kind of sucks. So a movie that I am really, really into, I always make sure to have a physical copy. So now, moving on to Terminator 2. So I have two versions of the Terminator. And I don't know if there's any more versions, actually. There might be like just a basic DVD, maybe before this special edition came out. I honestly do not know. But I believe when the Terminator became available, I had it on VHS, I'm pretty sure. But I also think when it became available, I know I had it on VHS because I remember copying a separate version for my brothers, trying to take out some of the explicit parts, like the explicitly violent, you know, parts. But I think when Terminator became available on DVD, I thought I got like just the original just standard DVD. I could not find that. And I thought I had a faint memory of giving it to one of my brothers, but I might be completely wrong. At any rate, I'll try to, you know, I'll look it up and I'll try to remember to put the artwork of what that first DVD was. It's just basic standard theatrical version DVD. That's it. But I ended up getting this one, which is called the Ultimate Edition DVD. And it's the one that comes in this silver slipcase, this metallic slipcase sort of thing. It was really cool. And it has this booklet that's included. And it's really cool. See, like all this artwork and stuff. I hope you guys can see it okay. You might not be able to, but I mean, look how freaking cool she is, you guys. Those arms. I wanted those arms. I still want those arms, but I'll never get those arms. But let's see. Just all this behind the scenes stuff is just so cool. Conceptual art, stuff like that. The final scene, one of the best scenes. I love that scene. It was really cool stuff. Very, very neat. And let's see, I'm not gonna go through all of it, but yeah, this. So let's see. And so then they also have the chapters. Whoops, they have the chapters for you, and then they show you here what's on each disc. And this was a multi-disc. This is also a little paper sleeve that's included, but it's basically a copy of this right here. And so there were 2 discs. No, not 2 discs. Sorry, wrong. It's one of those. Again, 2-sided disc. And so on one side, they have documentaries. They have special features and technical features, technical features are just that it was newly remastered. They talk about the audio, and they have the screenplay on here, cast and crew information, supplemental materials, the making of T2 featurette, which I think that was the documentary that they came out with in 93, maybe. It's about 30 minutes long. Another featurette. I thought in this one they also had commentary, but just at a quick glance, I'm not seeing that. let me see. What was the breakdown of stuff on the discs? Yeah, they even have a summary of each chapter in the movie. It's like, wow, okay. Okay, yeah, they do have a, they talk, so yeah, what's on side 1 and what's on side 2. Side 1 is the theatrical version, and then it also included the special edition version, which I think is the one that includes the scene where they're removing the chip from his head and everything, as well as some other little small scenes that were taken out or scenes that had been cut. Then they also have like bios, and so then on side 2, the making of T2, T2 More Than Meets the Eye, the making of T2 3D, breaking the screen barrier. That's where it talks about that ride that they made for Universal Studios. And then they have the screenplay and some sort of supplement. It's a compendium that covers every part of the filmmaking process of T2, from writing the script, research, and location scouting. So just like all these cool little extra features on here. I really loved this version, and I thought it was really cool. And, you know, at one point I had toyed with the idea of getting rid of, you know, my extra versions or my extra copies of the movie, but I decided, no, I'm going to keep it. I mean, I love Terminator 2. Some of the things might have stuff on them that others don't. So, plus, I also like having DVDs because on my computer I have no Blu-ray. So what if I want to watch something on my computer? I mean, yeah, I can get the digital version, but what if I wanted to watch a DVD? Like, what if I wanted to access the commentaries that were recorded? And there are multiple commentaries that were done for this movie, which I really enjoyed listening to. Then the next Terminator 2 DVD that I got is called Extreme DVD. And this is cool. It's this really thick, strong metal sleeve. There are 2 discs, and it has the special edition, that same thing. This kind of becomes standard now, where that special edition is included. They also have another edition, which is like special edition extended, which includes that cringy scene at the end with Linda Hamilton in old age makeup, and then like a couple of other little things that I don't even count that part. That particular version, I can't stand that. Let's see what else. I just give, like, you know, Spanish subtitles, audio commentary. So in this one, they said it was all new audio commentary. And then on disc 2 were more little like documentary type things. No but what we make. T2 on the set, T2 high definition. Some a couple other things. So this one was a really cool edition. I liked this a lot. And I believe this has 2 actual physical discs instead of the one where you flip over. I hope you guys can see this okay. And there's this little booklet in here. Whoa. That's just like a little ad thing. But this is, you know, some stuff. I think this is also showing you features on the discs. So it's kind of cool. So that's my second version of Terminator 2 on DVD. And then the next version that I got was a Blu-ray version, and it was one that I had actually, I believe I rented this maybe from Netflix or something. When we finally had access to a Blu-ray player, I rented the Blu-ray because I wanted to compare. And it had all these cool little features that you could access. I think I played this on, I think it was like the PlayStation 3. It was like one of the gaming systems that had a Blu-ray player. I think it was the PlayStation 3. And it was cool because it had this stuff that you could access, but it was online. Like you would go to it, you click it, and it would access the online stuff. And the PlayStation 3, obviously, it could access online things. And so it had all these cool features. I mean, a lot of stuff on there. I think it says here, yeah, okay, Chibi. It says here, over 8 hours of interactive special features. There was a buttload of things on this Blu-ray, and I was so impressed with it that I did eventually, years later, finally buy this Blu-ray version. It's called the Skynet edition. Now, I believe that those online features are no longer available because when I got this and I tried to access it, it didn't work, which is a real bummer because they were cool. So I guess it's just like their servers, they just canceled the servers or whatever, but maybe I'll try it again and see if they're back up at any point. But you would think they would leave this sort of stuff up. Because this could be a major selling point for people. There was a ton of special features in here. I remember, I think I looked through, if not all of them, almost all of them, and I really liked it. So then the next version of Terminator 2 that I got was after the release in 2017 with the remastered, where they put the digital fixes in. They fixed those things that kind of you couldn't help but notice upon like the 100th viewing of the movie. Things like the guy going off the motorcycle. I mean, the guy jumping off on the motorcycle. Well, you could tell that anyway in the theatrical version that it's not really Arnold. It's made to look like Arnold. They put prosthetics on his face to make him look like Arnold, to look more like Arnold. But also things like his arm in the sock. When he's removed his arm at the end, the final battle, and when he got up, you could see his arm had slipped out of its position, and you could see his arm in the green sock. It's like a very dark green or maybe black stocking or something. And I could not unsee that every time I would watch it. But the digital fix removed all of those things, which was really awesome. So this Blu-ray includes those fixes. There were multiple fixes that they made. But the first disc is the 4K Ultra HD. I don't have a 4K player or a 4K TV, so 4K means absolutely zero to me. I'm not in any rush to ever get one. If I ever do, it will probably be years down the road. So I really just don't care about that. But the second disc, which is the Blu-ray, has the 3 different versions of Terminator: the theatrical, the special, and the special extended, or whatever. So the one I like is the special. That's the one that includes that scene that I enjoy, and also has the theatrical ending to it, which to me was the perfect way to end the movie. And I think there's also there's a new documentary, and what's it called here? T2 Reprogramming the Terminator, a 55-minute documentary, which was new. Okay. So I don't remember if there were any commentaries on this, but here's the deal. I bought the Steelbook. Now I'm going to show you the Steelbook. So there's this, and then I bought the Steelbook from Best Buy. I went to go pick it up on Black Friday. I completely forgot it was Black Friday because I don't really get into that too much. And I'm just going down there. I was going to go park in the curbside pickup, have them bring it to me. And I was like, oh crap, why is the traffic so bad? Oh shoot, it's Black Friday. Damn it. And I couldn't park in the curbside parking because some people decided to use that as a regular parking spot. So I had to find a spot and then go in. Anyway, the Steelbook. This is the Steelbook. And it's got the 2 versions. Now, this is a really dumb way to put discs in my opinion, because you can get this out very easily. This second disc, this was the 4K, but when I finally managed to get the Blu-ray out, which took a while and I was afraid I was going to break it, honestly, it was really difficult. I just put the 4K back here because I'll probably never take it out. But anyway, what I was going to say is, okay, so the artwork on here looks different than the artwork on this one. But what I was going to say, yeah, the artwork on this is different. This is the 4K, I think. And this is the Blu-ray. And of course, this is the cover. Now, the reason that I thought about doing like a comparison review is because when I was watching the Steelbook the other day and I was watching the documentary, one thing that for me was, because I don't really care about Steelbooks. Honestly, that doesn't really mean much to me. But anyways, you can see here, the artwork is different. Can't even tell what the heck that is. Oh, that's him at the steel factory holding it. It's that piece of art where like that's sculpture or statue that I have. It's that scene. But the thing that was a selling point for me was that it said, when I looked up, all new 55-minute documentary. I was like, oh, an all new one. Because I never watched the documentary on here. But you guys, this version and this version are exactly the same. It's just that's the steelbook. Duh. Derp on me. So I have 2 exact copies, except one's a steelbook. And I watched the documentary, and it was very interesting. They had some cool stuff in there that I didn't really know of at the time. I guess I'll touch on that now. But they also had some things in there that I had issues with, because it wasn't really accurate information, at least not if you're going to go by things that had been said in other commentaries and other little interviews or documentaries. There were 3 specific things that jumped out at me. I wrote them down, and now that's what I was looking for that I can't find. I'll try to remember. Them. So one thing that jumped out at me was when they were talking to, I think his name is Joe Morton, the guy who played Miles Dyson. He made this insinuation in the documentary that it was James Cameron's intent all along to hire a black person for that role. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I don't remember that ever being a thing. I kind of feel like that aspect of it was sort of hyped up or exaggerated, because that was never really, I'd never heard ever before that was his goal or his focus. What I did know was that Joe Morton, when he auditioned for the part, Cameron asked him, why do you want this role? And Joe Morton was like, well, Richard Pryor once said that the reason why black people don't get these main roles in like a sci-fi or horror or whatever is because Hollywood feels like they're not going to be around in the future, or something. I'm paraphrasing, but it's something along those lines. And he said that kind of like throwing that sort of funny thing out there, he felt like that was what got him the part. So it really didn't have anything to do with James Cameron being insistent on like, yes, I'm going to have a certain demographic in this role because, I'm progressive. And it wasn't that. I feel like that was kind of hyped up. I was like, I don't think so. There were 2 other things that were in there that were completely incorrect based on what I already knew from commentaries and just what I already knew from reading articles and stuff like that. One was one of the girls who was working on the movie. I can't remember. She was like a location person, or she was someone that worked behind the scenes. She made this comment that Linda Hamilton started her training for the film, because Linda Hamilton went through extensive training. It was like 13 weeks long. She trained on guns, and this Israeli like military expert guy trained her. She learned how to load. She learned how to handle the gun. She learned that she was shooting, and she was so kick-ass in that movie. And she started that before they started filming. Now, they started filming in October, I believe, of 1990. Something that I didn't realize, I guess it was just something it never entered my brain throughout all the exposure I've had to the different things that have been told about how Terminator 2 was made, was what a scramble it was to get to the finish line on this. And even just a scramble to get to filming. Like James Cameron was writing up to the last minute before he had to get on a plane, like the screenplay. And they were scrambling, and it was so tight. They were like within 3 hours of the deadline of getting the prints out, like to the theaters, I think. It was just like, so I didn't realize what a hectic, just intense process it was. I mean, I knew it was intense, but I didn't realize how like down to the wire everything was. But this lady had said that Linda Hamilton started her training 2 weeks after she'd given birth. That was not the case. It was many, many months after she'd given birth, because her son, Dalton Abbott, was born in October of 89. And they started filming in October of 90. So it wasn't until 90, I can't remember when in October. So August, September, August, I'm trying to get July, August, September. So she started her training sometime in the summer, let's say. summer or very late spring, around in there. So that was a mistake. That wasn't accurate. And there may have been more things that were mentioned that just didn't jump out at me. But another thing, the third thing that I had noted was I think it was the cinematographer was talking about when they were filming in the steel mill area. And he was talking about how, oh, it was so hot, because of the environment, hot, And as soon as he said that, I'm like, no, that's not right. That's not what Jim Cameron had said in one of his commentaries, his DVD commentaries. And I also did look this up to verify that I hadn't misremembered. But when they filmed that scene, or the final scene in the steel mill, it was not hot because, in fact, it was quite chilly. It wasn't necessarily, I don't remember if they were that it was, breath vapor type of chilly, but it was chilly, maybe in the 50s or 60s or something. But the reason it was chilly is because the substance that they used to create what was supposed to be molten steel, which it wasn't, it had to be kept cold. So the shooting environment was chilly. I never forgot that when I heard that. And so when the cinematographer was saying something about how, it was so hot in there, I was like, wait, that's not right. And I was just wondering, is he misremembering or what? And I went looking. No, they said it was a cold set. So those three things just jumped out at me. And like I said, there might have been more stuff. So while I really enjoyed this documentary, it was fascinating, like pretty much anything relating to T2 is, those inconsistencies or errors or issues or exaggerations or just, it kind of bothered me a little bit because of like, well, I wonder what else might not be accurate on here, So, but anyway, it's still worth, to me, it's still worth watching. I don't necessarily think, well, when I bought the Steelbook, it was specifically because of this new documentary. I didn't realize I already had the dang thing right here because I never watched it. But whatever, I'm still going to keep it. Okay, so moving on to the rest of my Terminator collection. The rest of these, I only have one of each. Chibi, what are you doing? She's a crazy little doggy laying here on my lap. She can't get comfortable. Okay. The next one I have is Terminator 3. I just thought about not even talking about these. I was just going to focus on the Terminator and Terminator 2, but then I decided, let me just go ahead and make it sort of like a full-on thing about the different Terminator movies. So this is a 2-disc, widescreen, obviously, Terminator 3. I don't remember. This is something that goes in CD, but I don't remember what it is. I don't recall. T3 is okay. It's not my favorite. It's just kind of like a copy of Terminator 2, except for it's a girl Terminator, which they'd been talking about doing for a while. It's just got these little booklets in here, stuff like this. And okay, whoa. And what's in here? This is just like advertise, like little, merch stuff. Nothing really spectacular about this. I think I've watched all the special features, behind the scenes stuff. I thought that they had commentary on here, but I might be mistaken. I thought they did. And honestly, it's a little hard. I don't want to read yeah, they do have feature film with 2 commentary tracks with the stars and directors. So yeah, they did have I love commentaries. So there's that. I'm going to go pretty quickly through the rest. So then the next one I bought was Terminator Salvation. This film has grown on me over the years. I feel like at this point, this is probably the better sequel. It's nothing really super spectacular. Just 1 disc here, and don't even know what sort of extra features are in here, honestly. I don't think there was a commentary. I might be wrong, but it's just, just your basic. I wasn't in love enough with the rest of these movies to buy the Blu-ray, except for I do have a Blu-ray of Genisys, but that's pretty much only because I felt like it was better to get this because it was the Blu-ray, the DVD, and the digital. So that's why I got that. Terminator Genisys, I liked it all right. It's not my favorite, obviously, but it has the 2 Blu-ray and DVD, and it's got some extra features like see. It says it's got nearly an hour of bonus features. I guess like behind the scenes stuff. I don't remember if I watched the bonus features on here, to be honest. I don't recall. So there's that. And as far as Dark Fate, so I was so pissed with Dark Fate, I decided I was not going to add it to my library. To me, it was just like such a... Ooh, it scared me. To me, it was such a waste of potential. I felt like it was a decent enough action film, but it was a shitty Terminator film, and I was so pissed off. I was pissed off at James Cameron for blatantly lying about the fact that Edward Furlong was there. I remember being so excited about that when he announced it at San Diego Comic-Con. I did a whole video on it and everything. And really what he was referring to was the stupid digital image. Edward Furlong was not in that movie. I was thinking this was going to take place with him and his mom, and he's older and stuff is happening again. Nope. We all know how that went. It was terrible. Okay, so the next Terminator stuff I have is actually the Sarah Connor Chronicles, Season 1 and Season 2. This show only lasted 2 seasons, and I'll be honest with you, when I first went into watching it, I think I saw like the first episode before it came out or something, and I was like, before I even watched it, I was like, I don't know. I just don't know how I'm going to feel about this, because Lena Headey, I don't think she's not going to convince me, and I just don't know it's going to be good. And then I started watching it, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was actually quite good, and it was fun, and it was convincing. She's no Linda Hamilton. She's not as buff as Linda Hamilton, but her character was convincing. She was a badass in here. And the first season, it was quite a bit shorter than the second. The second sort of ends on a cliffhanger-ish. They canceled it. I don't know why. Well, probably because ratings weren't enough, but you got the dang Batwoman still hanging in there, and that's a crappy looking show. But this has 3 discs. Anyway, it's just a shame that this one could not continue. I would have liked to have seen where it was going to go at the end of Season 2, but it wasn't meant to be. Anyway, I have the DVDs, so I've thought about rewatching them, but you know what? I haven't rewatched it yet so far. Okay. Ooh, scare me. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this up pretty soon because I have to leave shortly. And then the second season is in a bigger case, obviously, because it's got more episodes. I think it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And it's got a little booklet in here. That's kind of cool. I thought that Summer Glau did a pretty good job in here. I felt like she was pretty convincing as this female Terminator. Anyway, just cool. I mean, if you're a fan of Terminator, I feel like you probably would enjoy this show. I've seen a lot of people talking about it and how they felt about it. And for the most part, the fans received it very well, from what I can remember. It was cool because they also had these little, they had like the guy who played Enrique, not the same actor, but the character of Enrique, his character came back again. I can't remember if Miles Dyson was in there, not the same actor, but it's been a good while since I've seen this, a good 10 years at least, because this thing came out like what, mid 2000s, 2005 or geez, I don't remember. It's been a long time since this came out. But anyway, that's my DVD and Blu-ray collection of Terminator movies. And I just wanted to, I swear I've collected so many. It's so pathetic. No, not really, because I have 5 different versions of Terminator 2. So yeah, I just wanted to show them off. These are my 2 favorites of the movies, and yeah, He probably always will be. Yeah. Now I want to watch Terminator 2 again. No, not Terminator 2. Well, I mean, I could watch Terminator 2 anytime, but I want to watch the Terminator again. Okay, so that's it. That's my collection, and that's this video, and I have rambled on, and yeah, as is typical for me, but I hope you found this enjoyable, and if you don't have any of these copies, if you're a Terminator fan, I don't see how you wouldn't have at least one of these copies, but if you don't, you might be interested to check them out. Like I said, I'll include pictures and stuff. I'll go hunt down the cover art and the front and back so that you can maybe see a little bit better. Maybe I'll also include links. They won't be affiliate links or anything like that. So if you clicked on the links and wanted to check them out, I don't get, you know, to buy a copy or whatever. I don't get any sort of payback from that, but just like to talk about Terminator. So I figured this would be kind of a cool little video to do. And that being said, I do have to wrap this up because I've got to take off in like 5 minutes. So I guess that's all for now. I don't know if I'm going to record anything else again tonight. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was at the start of this after I unloaded on you guys, but I don't think I've got any more in me for today. So, all right, that's it. See you guys later. Bye.